Every day, thousands of people hit the road heading towards their dreams. But sometimes those dreams collide with a harsh reality. Auto accidents with 18-wheelers can change lives in an instant. That's why you need the experience and expertise of St. Martin & Bork. With over 50 years of experience, St. Martin & Bork have fought for justice for the victims of truck accidents.
If you've been in a wreck with an 18-wheeler, know your rights.
Call St. Martin & Bork today to schedule your free consultation.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Facebook, YouTube coverage, and we look back at the year 2024. We now take a look at January.
All right, Mr. Bergeron, would you please come forward? Please raise your right hand as I administer the oath of office. Please repeat after me. I, Jason W. Bergeron,
I, Jason W. Bergeron,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States
I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States
and the Constitution and laws of this state,
and the Constitution and laws of this state.
and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge
I will faithfully and impartially discharge
and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as President of Terrebonne Parish, according to the best of my ability and understanding. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. People ask me why run? Why'd you want to do this? And I've said it many times, and I'm going to continue to say it, that I actually had a calling to run. In the beginning of 2021, I felt it in my heart that this parish needed my experiences and my skills. And from that point forward, I prayed about it every day. And here we are. And it's something that I'm very proud of and very honored that the citizens of Terrebonne Parish have trusted me to be our next parish president. And for those that I say that didn't support me, I'm going to work on earning that support every day.
Do this, so I ask the incoming parish council members to please stand and repeat after me. Please raise your right hands and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States and the Constitution and laws of this state, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as a Terrebonne Parish Council member, according to the best of my ability and understanding. So help me God. Congratulations.
At this time, we'd like to call for nominations for the office of council chairperson.
Yes, I'd like to nominate John Amity as council chair.
Mr. Babin nominates Mr. John Amity. Second by Mr. Champagne and Mr. Harding. Any other nominations? Mr. Babin moves that the nominations be closed, seconded by Mr. Pledger. All in favor? Congratulations, Mr. Amity.
I want to thank this council for having the confidence in me to lead them over this next year. And while there will probably be a few mistakes, I think that together and using Parish President Bergeron's motto, we're going to move Terrebonne forward together as one. And it's my goal that we work together as a unified front and that we bring this parish further than it's ever been.
I state your name.
I, DJ Broomfield.
Do solemnly swear.
Do solemnly swear.
That I will support the Constitution and laws.
That I will support the Constitution and laws.
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties
incumbent upon me
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
according to the best of my ability and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
You may kiss your fiance. Thank you.
Thank you
so much. Next, Councilman William T. Boo Adams of District 2. You want me to hold the Bible?
I can hold it in my left hand. No.
Yeah, there you go. I state your name.
State my name. Oh, William T. Boo Adams.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me
that's a big word,
as state your office.
I state my office.
Yes. Councilman, District 2.
Oh, District 2, my bad.
According to the best of my ability
And
understanding. So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Because he needs to.
Constable Mark Perk, your Bible is already here, sir. And would you introduce the lovely lady accompanying you?
My lovely wife, Liz Perk.
You want the children and grandchildren? You've done this before. Left hand on the Bible, right hand. Please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Mark Perk,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I'll support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws
of
this state,
and
and that I will faithfully
and
and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me
of me
as a
council member, District 3,
very well, according to the best of my ability and understanding. So help me God. You may kiss your bride. Congratulations. Can I kiss your bride too?
Thank you, John.
Next is Councilman Aaron Bo Melvin, representing District 4, and his lovely bride, who was a former student of mine. 2 or 3 years ago, I believe it was.
That's all.
I state your name.
Aaron Melvin.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws
that I will support the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of this state,
and
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me. State your office.
For District 4, Lafourche Parish Councilman.
According to the best of my ability and understanding. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You may kiss your bride. Next is Councilman Jim Weldon, representing District 5. I state your name.
I, James Wendell,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution and laws
that I will support the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of this state,
and
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me as state your position
as a Lafourche Parish Council, District 5,
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
He's obviously done this before. Terry Aberdeen, representing District 6. Many years ago, when I ran for district judge in
That's a long time, Judge. I can't go that far back.
1995, my daughter accompanied me to a function that the Lions Club was having in Raceland. And there was some music playing, and she got in the middle of the dance floor and started twirling around, and a judge came up. And Terry happened to be videoing that. And she got so dizzy, she crumbled to the floor. And when she got older, I told her about that, and she said, "You have me mistaken. I would never, ever do something like that." Well, when she became 16, I called Terry, and I asked him if he still had that tape. And bless his heart, he dug through boxes and boxes and crates of VCH tape and found it. And we gave it to her as a birthday present for her 16th birthday. And I proved that it was actually her that had done that all those years before.
Had the evidence.
Had the evidence. Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. And I see you brought your daughter up here with you.
Yeah, my lovely wife.
I state your name.
I, Terry Araby,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties incumbent upon me as state your position
as District Councilman, District 6,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding, so help me God.
So help me God.
You may kiss your lovely bride.
Oh, thank you.
Next is Councilman Armin Otan, representing District 7. I met your grandchildren earlier.
They didn't tackle you.
No, but I suggested to them that they did not wish to see me professionally, dressed as I am.
I would agree with that.
And the young one seemed to be duly impressed. And I also told y'all what? Never to ride where? In the back of a police car. Because then you would be on your way to see me professionally. Raise your right hand and please repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Armin Otan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
and laws
of
the United States
the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and
discharge and perform
all the duties
incumbent upon me,
state
your position,
as Lafourche Parish Council Member, District 7,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my abilities
and understanding,
so
help me God.
So help me God.
May kiss your bride. Next is District 8. Councilwoman Delynn Chasson. Who's this guy you got with you here?
This is my husband.
Good to see
These
you.
are my kids. These are our kids.
Now, what do you want? Hello, kids. You look a little bit old to be kids. A little mature to be kids, maybe. Raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I state your name.
I, Delynn Chasson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I'll support the Constitution
that I'll support the Constitution
and laws
of
the United
the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws
of the state,
of this state, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all the duties incumbent upon me for state your position
for Lafourche Parish Council Member, District 8,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You may kiss your spouse. Congratulations. Thank you for your service. You know what's next, Mr. Lorraine? I don't need to call you up here. I've done this so many times. Now, why are they bringing this individual up here that you disowned earlier?
He might decide to keep quiet.
He wants to go eat.
Excuse me. When do you want to eat? All right. We're going to let you eat in just a moment. Would you, can Yeah, you go in a moment. Just hang on. Be patient. Patience is a virtue. I state your name.
I, Daniel Lorraine,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
I will support the Constitution
and laws
and law
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and law
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties
all the duty
incumbent upon me
coming upon me
as state your position
as Fuchs Parish Councilman District 9,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You may kiss your bride. Congratulations. Daniel, do you have this oath committed to memory just yet?
I know it by heart now.
A lifetime version for him.
And according to the script, it says, last but certainly not least, Parish President Archie Chasson. Whose Bible requires two people to bring it up.
Yeah, it's serious.
I state your name.
I, Archie Paul Chasson III,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
and laws
and laws
of this state,
of this state,
and that I will faithfully
and that I will faithfully
and impartially
and impartially
discharge and perform
discharge and perform
all the duties
all the duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me as Parish President
for LaFouche Parish,
for LaFouche Parish,
according to the best of my ability
according to the best of my ability
and understanding.
and understanding.
So help me God.
So help me God.
You may kiss your bride and daughter.
For the first time in parish history, we kept businesses here and did not see an outward migration. Performance Food Group Cairo in Bayou Blue is expanding at a $30 million facility and adding new jobs. John Deere is doing a $29 million expansion. DJ, glad to have you as part of that team, bringing in jobs back to the United States and right here in Thibodaux and LaFouche Parish. We taking our first stab at tax reform, partnering with the school board to lower taxes and improve teacher pay. And I know while we're not accustomed to that in LaFouche Parish, partnerships is what made it happen.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Corey Duplichin and I were talking about a Winnie Spaghetti Festival at the Voice of the Wetlands behind the Red Dog Saloon. Over the years, we talked about it and talked about it. And it took talking about it in front of Daniel Babin one time, and he took the reins, and this is Daniel's doing right here. This is a beautiful event for a great cause. And I'm going to let Brian and Manny talk about the great causes.
We mentioned Daniel Babin. He's busy working right now. It's running around, but this is kind of his brainchild along with Nunk New. And the whole concept was to give back to the musicians that give back to us, right? So they play all these gigs and all these festivals, and we want to make sure that we keep local music alive, and that was a big part with Illuminate Houma and Flood the Love. So you know, shout out to those guys that really started organizing this event. And it all started with a dream about weenie spaghetti. And we didn't know if a lot of people would like weenie spaghetti, but it's come to our attention that it hits home for a lot of people. I don't think it's just a dish. I think it's a community. I mean, you know, you go up north, people don't know what weenie spaghetti is, but everybody down here has got a story about going to their grandma's house or their mama's house, and they cook the best weenie spaghetti. So I think this is a testament to this community. Revitalization at its best. I mean, look, this is what it's all about. You know, Houma has a lot to offer, and we're here to facilitate that. So, I mean, everybody that came out, this is unbelievable.
Let me start by thanking HDDC, the Terrebonne Parish Consolidated Government, Mr. Jason Bazeron, countless others. I can go on and on. Explore Houma, Daniel Babin especially for the hard work he's put in. Illuminate, Flood the Love, it goes on and on. None of this happens without the involvement and cooperation of a group of people who are willing to work together and get things done. And that's the bottom line. Spilt Liquor Productions, Nonk New. All of that came together. It's been a perfect storm. The weather's incredible. Look around. God has blessed us. We're looking forward to next year already. We see some places for improvement.
I really want to commend these guys, and it's funny because many people might not know Daniel Babin, who created this, he's the originator of Do Something. Yeah. So every time we hashtag Do Something, it came from that guy. And I remember Manny cooking a weenie spaghetti on the back of a stage not long ago. And it's all the little pieces and all the steps that we've all taken to get here today. And it inspired me, sitting and talking to Waylon Thibodeau this morning in downtown Joe. I got a feeling that we need to do something like a music walk of fame. And so that's something I'll talk to these guys about. We're going to figure out a way to make that happen and honor the musicians that have made Terrebonne Parish the great parish it is today. So let's move Terrebonne forward together. These are part of the steps of how we do that.
It's a great event. It's a great community. We are always included in all the coolest parties from the band Nonk New, and we appreciate the community for always putting us in that number.
And HTV.
And HTV, yeah. Thanks for always, you know, being out here and making sure that everybody knows what we got going on.
They have different varieties of chilies. We have different varieties of weenie spaghettis. We also have Bloody Mary competition. The food that I've tasted has been incredible. The drinks I've tasted have been incredible. I was just judging inside, so I got to taste a little bit of a lot of it.
Oh my goodness. I think this was more than what we anticipated. I think it's a beautiful thing. You know, coming from a family of musicians and cooks, I can tell you that what we revolve around in this community is food and music. You have Nonk New on the stage right now, love them. We have beautiful weenie spaghettis being thrown together, and that, I don't know how else to say down the bayou other than weenie spaghetti. When you're growing up, my grandma had 12 kids. What do? You feed them. And in order to feed them, you have to have a bunch of something. So hot dogs come probably 8 to a pack. What do? You makeshift something. This is how you do it. So you throw together a spaghetti. Weenie spaghetti, baby! It's the Weenie Spaghetti Festival!
Brielle? Hey. Hey, I missed you. Come see. I missed you. Oh, you're so big. I missed you so much. I've been on the plane for you. I missed you so much.
I missed them all the way to the Red Planet.
Really? That's a far, far away. That's a lot.
That's too far away.
Yeah. It doesn't feel real, man. I know I'm only here for 20 days, so I have to go back to Korea, and it's gonna feel good to be able to be home with her. I was able to make my wife's birthday, so it feels special, but it's only gonna last for a little bit, so.
The story that we all share this morning is a story of hope and generosity that proves the power of philanthropy, volunteers, and God's grace, most importantly, to rebuild not just homes like this one, but lives and communities who suffered so much when Hurricane Ida came ashore just south of here on August 29th, 2021. We like to say that hearts, hands, and hammers make Rebuild South Lafourche and Miss Eloise's beautiful new home behind me possible. And to each of you who have shared your time, your talent, and your resources from here in Cutoff all the way to Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, I and Bayou Community Foundation, thank you, thank you, thank you.
These keys for what, almost 2.5 years?
I am just so blessed and so grateful for all the marvelous work that everyone has put in to this house.
Yeah, yesterday afternoon, officers of the Morgan City Police Department responded to Short Street around 1:30 p.m. regarding a welfare concern. Officers arrived to this residence and located two deceased victims, Primus Patrick Johnson and Alexis Robertson, both 39 years of age. The investigation is leading us to believe this is going to be a murder-suicide situation. We are awaiting autopsy results and further interviews conducted by the Morgan City Police Department Detectives Division to finalize that investigation, but that looks like that's where it's leading to.
So suspected murder-suicide, was this a domestic violence situation? Were these two people related? Do we know if they're a couple or not?
Everything indicates that this could have been a domestic that led to a murder-suicide, but that's about all the information that we want to release at this time until we're able to conduct these interviews and get the final autopsy results to go ahead and finalize this investigation.
And how long do we anticipate it's going to take to kind of get those autopsy reports back and kind of know what's going on for sure?
We should know something hopefully within the week. Whenever they do the autopsy, it usually takes a couple days after the incident to schedule everything with the center to get everything done. But we're hoping to be able to find out this week exactly what took place.
What's certainly tragic, regardless of what the actual situations are, I think it's probably that time of year in January and December where you see a little bit more depression. Are y'all noticing an uptick in this kind of behavior in the Morgan City, St. Mary Parish area?
I mean, domestic violence is not something that usually just takes part certain times of the year. We usually have these types of situations throughout the year. We do work close together with a local organization called Shea Hope, which provides services to the St. Mary Parish, Iberia, St. Martin, and Assumption areas throughout the whole 16th and adjacent parishes. So this is something that we deal with a lot and take very seriously.
Absolutely. And if there's women out there, or men too, I guess, that are feel like they're victims of domestic violence, they can reach out to your office for services. And do you have a number that they can call or they can get in touch with, or a website or something for anybody out there who might be watching the show and is in a situation to prevent something like this happening again?
Look, domestic violence is a situation where it's hard for the victim to ask for help. So sometimes you might need people that are around you that know what's going on. You need to report these incidents to us so that we can investigate them. And just by extending the olive branch to these people to let them know that if you're in a bad situation, that there's a way out, and we could go ahead and direct them or take further action that we need to take to keep them safe.
All right, welcome to HTV News. I'm Martin Falls, and we're going to have some breaking news, but not before we talk about the sad passing of the Bishop of the Diocese of Houma, Thibodaux. That's Bishop Mario D'Arsonville. Joining me now is Lonnie Thibodaux as we take a look
at the bishop, who was recently installed as bishop here in our area. And of course, Lonnie is in the communications department, does a great job of running all that. Good to see you again, Lonnie.
Well, thank you, Martin. And, you know, it's one of those things where you certainly wish it was better circumstances that we're talking right now. What a shock. I mean,
I know.
You know, it's one of these things where you leave the office on Friday afternoon. His office is right by mine. And, you know, you leave the office on Friday, never believing that less than 3 hours later, he's gone.
I mean, was it a couple of weeks ago? We had him on Sports on the Bayou, but also visited with you and him at the Diocese of Houma Thibodeau, and he was just full of laughs and smiles, and he was such a trooper to come to the Sports on the Bayou. And I remember joking with Bobby Hebert, I said, better keep this one real clean. But no, he was just a jovial kind of guy, loved life. But when I talked to you, was it Friday night or Saturday?
Friday night.
I'm losing track of time.
You and I talked Friday night right after it happened.
Yeah, and it was just a shock to the community. I know in the next segment we're going to have some breaking news because you have to pick an administrator, and I know you're going to help me break that news. But let's talk about Bishop Dorsonville. A lot of people in shock in the Diocese of Houma Thibodeau family. What can you tell us at this point?
Well, you know, there's a lot of obvious questions that people ask right now, and of course, one of the most obvious is, what had he been sick? The answer is yes. I mean, he had been sick. There is a liver issue, and that's in the press release, and we acknowledge that. And he had been sick for a few months, but it didn't really change his schedule. I mean, to give you an example, he dies on Friday night. On Tuesday night, as you see me hugging him, this is before the installation. By the way, 10 months. People also, that's another question. How long was he bishop? 10 months from that video you're seeing right there. Yeah. But he, on Tuesday night, confirmed at St. Joseph Co-Cathedral in Thibodeau. See the pictures on Facebook. Tuesday night, and tragically he dies on Friday night. So he never really changed his schedule.
He had an out-of-town surgery, right?
Right. It was I wouldn't call it surgery. It was a procedure that was done on Wednesday, and some complications developed, I think, later on Thursday and during the day on Friday. And he tragically died at 6:50 on Friday night. But you're right. He was a breath of fresh air, jovial, funny, great sense of humor, just loved the people here. That was awesome. And I told him from the day I met him, I said, you're just going to love your congregation. These people, South Louisiana. You got to remember, he was half French. His dad was French. His mom was Colombian. Grew up in Bogota, Colombia, but he had that French background. And so he kind of connected, you know, he connected with everybody here.
I was at Rouse's when I was... He was real funny then, because I told him if he clucked like a chicken,
I remember that.
I'd give him half of the $500. He said, no, if I cluck like a chicken, you're giving me the whole thing.
Yep.
As a community grew closer to him and grew very fast, we were relieved because it took so long to get a bishop. Then we get one, and he's taken away from us. So now we got to go through the process.
Tragic, you know, and that picture right there just really sticks with me. Father PJ along with Bishop at his installation. And you're right, it took 12 months to get a bishop, and Father PJ was the administrator during that whole time, and then tragically he dies after 10 months.
In short order, we're going to hear from the new administrator of the Diocese of Houma Thibodeau. And we all know that waiting for Bishop Mario, Father P.J. Madden did such a great job, long job.
For a year.
Getting the diocese ready and making sure it was all intact. And in short order, we're going to hear from the new administrator.
And the way it works, Martin, is from the moment, literally the moment that you lose a bishop, whether it's the tragic death of Bishop Dorsonville 2 years ago, Bishop Fobb becomes Archbishop Fobb in Louisville. You have 8 days from that moment, if you will, to select someone as a diocesan administrator. That has to be chosen by what's known as the College of Consultors, which are 7 priests in our diocese. So they met earlier today, late this morning and into the afternoon, to do 2 things. One of which, in fact, both of those things will be accomplished in the video you're going to see in a minute. One is selecting the administrator, who you will see in a couple of minutes. Number 2 is is the funeral arrangements, which are rather involved, and it kind of goes over a course of 2 days. It's about a week and a half from now. So that's coming up, and we'll see that in the video. So again, the College of Consultants did I think a great job of selecting someone, and we're going to meet him in just over a minute.
The College of Consultants, as we are waiting about a minute before we go to that, are they public, or is it sort of like a very private group?
In the past, it's been public. It's a little bit of a newer group since Bishop Dorseyville came in. He changed it up a little bit, but it's 7 priests that you know well here in the diocese. I'm almost reluctant to fully answer that question. I'm not sure if it's an actual public list that I don't think it's on our website or anything right now. But again, they did I think a great job of selecting someone. A quick job. Remember, because they have 8 days, and there are some cases in some dioceses where it takes that group 8 days to pick somebody. They can't. By the way, the person selected has to be selected by or elected by a 2/3 vote, and that has been a problem in some other dioceses. But I do not get the impression that was the case today.
Well, Lonnie, we appreciate it. Let me let the audience know that in roughly 20 seconds, you're going to meet the new administrator for the Diocese of Houma Thibodeau, and this will be the shepherd that takes us through the process until a new bishop is assigned to the Diocese of Houma Thibodeau. So without further ado, let's meet the new shepherd of the Diocese of Houma Thibodeau for now.
My dear brothers and sisters, the family of the Diocese of Houma Thibodeau, I come to you today with a humble and heavy heart. I have just been elected by the College of Consultants to serve you as the diocesan administrator. I pray that the Lord will grant me the grace to serve each one of you well, even as we grieve together the loss of our beloved father and shepherd, Bishop Mario Dawsonville. While a time will come for more thorough introductions, my focus, as well as the focus of the entire diocesan staff, remains on honoring Bishop Dawsonville in the coming days. My dear brothers and sisters, as we grieve the loss of our father, may we be reminded that we grieve because we love. Let us remember to pray for Bishop Dawsonville that he may receive his eternal reward in the company of our Heavenly Father and the communion of saints. My dear brothers and sisters, he loved you greatly and considered himself blessed to be a part of this diocesan family.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.
Depending on who you talk to, I mean, I've been doing this 40 years. It's very confusing at the least, but and whether or not you want to see a minority district or whether or not you want to see different districts in Louisiana, it's still very confusing, but it doesn't trump the fact that we're going to lose somebody who's had a lot of experience in funneling money to us in Garrett Graves.
No, I think you're absolutely right. When you look at the dollars that have come to Lafourche and Terrebonne's coast, both the Port of Terrebonne and the Port of Fouchon, Congressman Grave has been instrumental in the success. When you look at things like deepening the channel in Fouchon, deepening the Houma Navigational Canal, Mid-Barataria Settlement Basin, Morganza to the Gulf, Congressman Graves was the leader in Washington, D.C. that helped recover those funding dollars. So obviously in this redistricting, he was moved into a seat that is a majority-minority seat that I think he will struggle to be successful. It reaches from all the way from East Baton Rouge all the way north into Shreveport into Caddo Parish. So I think it's a struggle. As we move forward, I think you'll see these maps will become challenged as well. But from the standpoint of the court in federal court that said that the legislature had to create 2 minority-majority seats, the legislature did its part in sending a map that was a consensus amongst both the House and Senate that created those 2 seats.
Wasn't that brought up before in previous years, almost the same?
So I think you're probably referring back to 2 years ago is when we first, Judge Shelley Dix said that you have to create 2 majority-minority seats. We went back, were called into a special session by Governor John Bel Edwards. The legislature did not create a map. We said we were unable to create a map that we thought confines to the redistricting laws, and those include things like compactness, communities of interest. This time we came back because she said if we didn't produce a map, that subsequently she would produce that map. So now let's go back a little further. Let's go back all the way into 1994. Then Senator Cleo Fields, who chaired Senate Government Affairs last week, created a map that created 2 minority seats in the state of Louisiana. That map was determined to be racially gerrymandered, that the districts were created merely to suffice race. I think you can see on the screen now what that map looks like. That red district that you see that we know that the Fifth Circuit said was racially gerrymandered looks very, if not extremely similar to the map that this House passed just on Friday. So when you look at those 2 items side by side, you have to believe that someone, whether it be from Congressman Graves' office or someone in the Republican Party, will subsequently file an additional suit and get this new map into the court systems. What's unique about this is that the judge who issued the 1994 opinion that the map was racially gerrymandered still remains on the court today.
Okay. Thibodaux, where you're at. Let's talk about directly how this affects Thibodaux, and second part of that question, we have such a good relationship between Lafourche and Terrebonne, and of course Thibodaux right in Lafourche Parish, of course, but does that change the relationship?
Well, I don't necessarily know if it changed our relationship, Martin, but historically the Bayou Region delegation has always stood together, and we grit a voice when Lafourche and Terrebonne remain together.
One voice
on all different fronts. So what we had before is Congressman Graves in the north and Scalise in the south. Now, the way we've broken this map into 3, in particular just in Thibodaux, we now have Higgins, who comes in and catches all of Terrebonne, some of the northern side of Thibodaux, and then Congressman Scalise would come in just north of Highway 90 in Raceland. So ultimately, Scalise stays the same. But what was disturbing to me, one is this map that was authored was not produced until the day the session began. And very limited amount of time for me to be able to correct what was transpiring in northern Lafourche. Now, geographically, minorities are growing just north of Lafourche Parish. In 3 parishes are some of the largest minority growth communities in the state. They include St. Charles, St. John the Baptist, and St. James. So when we as a legislature is forced to create a district that has more minority population, naturally Lafourche gets looked at to increase that minority population. So what we call is BVAP, is Black Voting Age Population. The total BVAP in the map that was passed, 1.8% of the minorities in that map come out of the city of Thibodaux. Now, I don't believe, again, that meets the confines of redistricting. Clearly, Thibodaux doesn't have a community of interest with the lower 9th Ward in New Orleans. So I offered an amendment to correct that. And that amendment only changed Lafourche Parish. I think the amendment's up now. My amendment, as you can see it, would keep all of the city of Thibodaux in Congressman Higgins' district and would extend Scalise all the way through Chack Bay, Choctaw, and Bayou Buff. I balanced the minorities by coming through Raceland and Des Allemands and picking up minorities that are in Raceland.
So you're not opposed to the minority districts. You just want to make sure that the interest is funneled to where the interest would be best served.
Well, again, you're talking about a city in Thibodaux, just And I promise you, you can search any other city in the state of Louisiana and you will not find this. The city of Thibodaux, who has a 14,000 population, has 4 state senators and now 3 congressmen. That's just unacceptable.
We had a 30-inch line and a 24-inch line that come off our plant that are joined together by T, and maybe due to the recent drought or we're not sure, the T pulled out between the 2 lines, which basically shut out all our water going down out the plant to where we didn't have any water leaving the plant. Typically, something like this happens as the ground shrinks from the water table going down, so we can figure out probably that's probably. I've been here 27 years and it's never happened before, so it's a first for us. When the ground shrinks, your blocking and everything that holds the T in place where the 2 lines meet, that also moves, and all it takes is a little movement between a fitting or a joint, and then it'll blow the gasket out, and that's what happened. Once it blew the gasket out, the 2 lines separated. So those guys have been after it for 24 hours now, nonstop. Can't thank the contractors enough. San Pedro General Contractors and Muddy Pipe Works out there, all our guys. We got the fire district guys from Lower Lafourche helping us. Communities come together, helping us. We've been out here all night. Typically, we leave the plant about 7 to 8 million gallons. So right now, we're able to supplement our north side with our north plant. We're running about 4 or 5 million gallons from that plant, with that typically usually a 3 million gallon a day plant. So what we did to make the repair, we decided to save time, instead of putting the T back in the hole to combine the 2 pipes again, we decided just to make a straight run with both pipe, and we'll just come back at a later date and combine the 2 pipes. It won't affect us as much as we run. We typically rather have the 2 pipes together, but to save time and to make the repair quicker, we decided just to put 2 single pipes in and get rid of the T that failed between the 2 pipes.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. Big day for Terrebonne and Lafourche Parish and the whole coastline of Louisiana, as the governor today, Jeff Landry, made some key appointments in charge of boards. And trust me, the ones that he appointed to certain positions, he has uncaged the tigers to get the job done.
To get on with the appointment, the first appointment, I'd like to bring up Houma native Gordy Dove. Now, many of y'all, I don't think anyone in this room doesn't know Gordy. And of course, he has firsthand knowledge of what this coast needs. I've watched Gordy when he was in the legislature. He was unbelievable in making sure that the Terrebonne area and his district had the protection and that the projects that were implemented in Terrebonne were necessary to protect his area. And of course, as you know, Gordy's one of those folks, he really doesn't need a job because he's run such great businesses. And Gordy would tell you that if you want to be successful in business, you have to find the right people, you have to get a good plan, and then you got to get out of the way. And as I was talking to him about CIPRA, he said, I really believe that the organization needs some restructuring. And he said, I would be willing to serve as the chairman only under the condition that we restructure the way the board particularly operates. And this is important for y'all to understand. The CIPRA board right now consists of 21 people, okay? And 8 of whom represent the coastal basin drainage, the coastal drainage basins in the state, from east to west. 7 of them are secretaries and part of the governor's cabinet. 2 are from the legislature, and 3 are other statewide elected officials. I believe it's unmanageable. And the chairman is also a state employee, which kind of conflicts with the executive director. This board is so important to the coast that it should be managing the agency, not running the agency on a day-to-day basis. And so one of the reasons I selected Gordy was because me and him shared that vision that what we want to do is make the board more of a functioning, managing board that oversees the projects that are necessary to protect our coast. Because what has happened is that it's grown so big that we're designing more things, we're in more litigation, and none of that is protecting us. And so his instructions from me, and really from y'all, are to go out and to start implementing these projects. We want to see rock. We want to see concrete. We want to see levees. We want to see things that protect our coast, that build our coast, and ensure that the communities here can survive. And so that's why I've selected him. And then, of course, there is a governor's advisory committee that works with CIPRA. And so we appointed Gordy's sidekick, Tony Alfred. Now, I want y'all to know, I want the public to know and everyone to hold it. I told them if they got these 2 positions, that Terrebonne had to get the projects last, okay? And not to forget the folks over in Cameron, in Lake Charles, and on the west. Seriously, we want a very robust coastal management program being implemented because we have spent a lot of money, a lot of treasure, and a lot of time on a coastal master plan. But Tony is going to be the chairman of the Governor's Advisory Commission, and as many of you know already, he has played a critical role in protecting our coast. He has served over 20 years on the Terrebonne Levee and Conservation District. And I can tell you, there are no 2 parishes, really, that have done more and are more of a model for other parishes along the coast than both Lafourche and Terrebonne. In a way that y'all have taken the ball in the early 90s, recognized the dangers that were coming, were able to see over the horizon, and then started implementing a plan, even when the state and the federal government would not give you money. You went out there, you taxed yourselves, you ran your projects, you built your levees. And I cannot thank the people of both Terrebonne and Lafourche for what they are showing the rest of the state, and that is why these 2 gentlemen are going to help us protect our coast. Then there's a 3rd person that is an integral part of making sure that the projects get completed and that it's managed properly. And of course, I told Gordy, we want projects done on time and under budget, right? So we can do more projects. And so in helping him, I'd like to bring up Glenn Leday Jr., who will be the executive director of CIPRA. Glenn is currently the vice president and leader of the Water Resources and Coastal Market sector of Neo Schaefer, Inc., where he had to tender his resignation, right, Glenn, today. But he has almost 2 decades of coastal engineering experience, including key leadership roles at the Louisiana Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority as well. I think he worked for CIPRA for 10 years. And so with the experience in engineering, in project management, in business development, I believe that he has the ability to focus CIPRA in working with the new board.
I heard him say rocks. I heard it with my own ears. So, Gordy, I tell you what a big day for Terrebonne and Lafourche, but really the whole coastline of Louisiana, because I've seen what you all have done with our area. How can you describe what this means today?
Well, Lord, you know, when I first met with the governor, one of the first things we discussed was putting segmented breakwater rocks along the entire coast, the Barrier Islands, and the coastline of Louisiana from Texas to Mississippi. You already have rocks, segmented breakwater rocks that's successful in Grand Isle. You have them on Raccoon Island and Terrebonne, and you have them at the Rockefeller Nature Reserve in western Louisiana. That's that works. It's time we do things that work. It's been proven over 20 years. And so that's going to be one of the priorities. Another one is getting levees finished. And of course, Tony's going to be there every step of the way with us. And, there's some communities don't even have levees. There's a floodgate in Bayou des Albans needs to be built and constructed because it flooded Lafourche and des Albans after Ida. So it really opened the door. You have a $1.6 billion with a B budget, and we're going to do it as economically and expeditiously as possible.
Gordy, I know you've worked with this man for a long time. I mean, Tony, you've worked with Gordy for a long time. But what the governor said was pretty forthright. I don't know if I've ever heard a governor come in and sort of unleash or unbridle what's going to happen with the coastline. I know what you've been doing in Terrebonne Parish, but you got to be tickled pink now that he has seen what y'all have done, and now it's time.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited, Martin. I'm excited to be working with Gordy on this. We've been very aggressive with Terrebonne and Lafourche and St. Mary even, and we're going to try to do the same thing for the Louisiana coast. Real excited about, it seems like the governor's very aggressive. He wants to see work on the ground. Doesn't want to see a bunch of studies. Sounds familiar, huh? And so we're real excited to be part of that, and some great things to finish off, save the Barrier Islands, restoration efforts, levee efforts where there are no levees, and we're going to make some things happen.
What does this mean for the economic impact of this area at Nichols, y'all too, from Terrebonne, although y'all had a vested interest in Lafourche, working with them for years, but what does this mean as far as impact? This is huge. We could talk about it till we blue, but it's huge for the economy.
Should be great for the economy. Contractors, we'd like to see contractors in Louisiana get a lot of that work. The engineers, we have brilliant engineers in Louisiana. And I'm excited about using those engineers, and I think Gordy agrees. We're going to try to use Louisiana people in this process, and that's in the works as well.
And Gordy, I know we got experts here because we've done it, right?
That's right, Maud. You remember by now, if after 20 years, if we don't know what to build in Louisiana by now, we best just give it up. We know what to build. We don't need studies. We need to move forward. We have plenty of money to keep the projects going. And you get to a 3032, you're still going to get money from the BP fine, the oil spills called the Restore Act. So that money is still coming in. Plus, you have a lot of other federal grant monies in, besides the state monies. And local governments who have taxed themselves to do their own protection. Terrebonne, one of them, Lafourche, one of them. Right. And they have taxed themselves 3/4 cent sales tax to build their own systems. Because we got $1.3 billion from the state, and including the local taxpayers' dollars in Terrebonne Parish. And Lafourche raised quite a bit of money themselves.
Let me say this in closing. These two gentlemen from Terrebonne Parish, but I really hope that people in the audience understand how much work has gone into these levees in Terrebonne. And I think what the governor really saw is the fact that the Terrebonne equation and the Lafourche equation could start moving west all across Louisiana. And is the goal one day for everybody in Louisiana on the coast to have pretty good protection?
100%, and keep our children and our grandchildren in Louisiana. And that's been my goal. That's Tony's goal, and that is the goal of CPRA and the governor and Governor Jeff Landry's goal.
I'm ready to go to work. One thing I need to point out, they modified this position, the governor did, to be able to get Gordy and everything that he's done in Terrebonne. And I'm just proud of him, for really stepping up and taking this on, right? And great things coming.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Today, we come together to honor the most important athletic administrator in the history of this institution. No other has had a more profound impact on Colonel Athletics. It is only fitting that we are naming this new facility the Don Landry Legacy Center in Stouffer Gymnasium. This facility is not just a physical space. It is a tribute to a man whose impact on our university and on its athletic programs is immeasurable. Coach Don Landry was an integral part of Nichols athletics, leaving a legacy on the lives of countless student athletes and the Nichols community. This commemoration is a testament to Coach Landry's dedication, leadership, and unwavering commitment to excellence. As we unveil the Don Landry Legacy Center, we honor not only the victories on the scoreboard, but also the victories in the hearts and minds of the individuals Coach Landry has inspired. To Coach Landry, thank you for your unwavering dedication to Nichols State University. Your contributions will never be forgotten. To all of you gathered, this facility that we're going to dedicate today is funded through the state of Louisiana. What I would ask of you is to consider a donation to the Coach Don Landry Athletic Scholarship Fund in honor of Coach Landry, because as he knows, there is nothing more important than the student scholarships. We do not fully fund our athletic scholarships on campus because we lack the resources, and we hope to begin to do so in the future. So let us join together in celebrating this occasion and in expressing our deep appreciation for the enduring legacy of Coach Don Landry. Thank you, and go Colonels.
Our coach, AD, Commissioner Don Landry has been an inspiration, a friend, a true Colonel. Everyone here knows who Don Landry is as a person, but I would like to share a quick story about the character of a man who calls a complete stranger, so I thought. On the evening of June 16th, 2020, my dream came true. Dr. J. Clune called me to be the AD at this great university that has given me and my family so much. After crying and hugging my wife Taryn and jumping up and down for about 40 minutes, believing that my dream just came true, my phone rang again. It was Coach Don Landry congratulating me on my new adventure and how proud he was of me. So I knew Coach, I heard of Coach, I met Coach, but I didn't know Coach. Matt Rome, our former AD, would always talk about Coach Don Landry and speak so highly of him. How he helped him navigate some stuff, get through some trenches and some tough times. So to Coach, it may have been just a courtesy phone call, but to me it was the most inspiring call from a man who sat in the seat and who led champions and taught with great passion, and his leadership led him to be our commissioner in 1987. To me, I had just spoken to a legend. Coach and I spent about 20 minutes on the phone with him telling me if I've ever needed anything, please reach out, and he said something that day that stuck with me forever. You will never make everyone happy, but if you don't make it about you and make it about the student athlete and the coaches you serve, you'll be just fine. So I'll go back to saying a complete stranger, I thought. Well, I said that earlier in the speech, but in fact, y'all know Coach Landry. He did a whole bunch of homework. He knew my every move. He talked to a bunch of people to find out who JT was. So I wasn't a complete stranger. He knew my heart, he knew I loved this place, and he knew I was an alum. So Coach, I am forever grateful for the many conversations and the many visits we have had. He and Miss Lucille have made me part of the family, and like many of you know, there's no greater love than that Landry family love. Again, I thank you, Coach, for being who you are, and a gift to all of us here.
When Coach Landry asked me to speak on behalf of the players from his first years at Nichols, I, of course, readily accepted. And the theme of what I will briefly talk about also came readily to my mind. That theme. I remember a speech given by Billy Cunningham in the mid-1980s, a speech that has stayed with me for a long time, and I wanted to build on what he said. And this is what he said, and I'm quoting. And of course, you know Billy Cunningham was a great basketball player at the University of North Carolina, Philadelphia 76ers, and he was also the head coach at Philadelphia 76ers when they won their last NBA championship in 1983. But he said in his speech, and I'm quoting here, but also paraphrasing, he said, "I played the game of basketball and I coached the game of basketball. And I only wish I could have gone back and played after I had coached because I understood things so much better." Well, in a similar manner, and I think I speak for most of the guys who played during that era, we played the game of basketball. We listened to Coach Landry. We observed his behaviors as a coach, and we watched how he interacted with people from all walks of life. And after we transitioned to adulthood, I think we also wish that we could have gone back and played again, because we understood so much better what Don Landry was all about, not only as a coach, but as a leader. And having said all of that, I still think we adopted some of the better habits that he had and he possessed and he shared, more so than we even realized. And over the years, we began to use those best habits in our own various professions and in our personal lives also.
Somebody said my dad never cursed, even at in those moments in the locker rooms, and we got to see that ourselves. And I tell you that because throughout all of that, we were learning lessons just like the players that talked about it today. We were watching, even though when we didn't realize we were watching, we were learning. And there was so much that I took away that it impacted my life, and I know it impacted my brother's lives. But all along, my mom was there too, and I would be remiss to not mention, she was always on Dad's side, never missed a beat. And in fact, many times during basketball season and recruiting season, Dad was traveling, just the nature of being a kid of a coach, but Mom never was missing in those times. We always knew that she was side by side, helping Dad, keeping him focused, providing whatever support she could. She was involved in the community. He believed in being involved in the community, being involved with the faculty, and she did too. And she was the biggest promoter that I knew of this program. And I know Dad appreciated it. I know we watched it and we learned. We watched our dad value our family in a way that when he couldn't be with us, he brought us into the picture by, even when I mentioned attending games, going to practices. We were part of this team. And I was glad to see that remarks today, because I know my dad valued that very much. I mentioned that we learned a lot. You know, what I saw and what I learned was to value the people that you are around, to be respectful of them, and he did that every day. And I applied many of those traits when I had the opportunity to lead in the Marine Corps. He was always respectful of his players. He believed in having a high ethics in his program. He attacked, or as I would put in the Marine Corps, attacked his responsibilities using the highest of morals. And he had success doing it. So if I had to take away anything, one thing I definitely learned was you can do it right and still be successful. And that was evident what went on in this program and what Dad instilled. Dad, I'm a part of your family. That family, your 4 sons, their wives, your grandchildren, and now your great-grandchildren. You teach us every day and you continue to teach us. You have had a legacy on this program and you've made a big impact on a lot of lives. And I know we are better people because of you and Mom. And we thank you. This honor today is absolutely fitting. So thank you and congratulations.
When I was coaching, I wanted every player to be the best they could. Not all of them could be a Shelby Hippolyte, a Larry Wilson, Rogers Washington, Richard Polk, or Johnny Hall, but each of them could make a contribution. I want to thank every player who I inherited on our first squad, such as Stan Bobuff and Sammy Maniscalco. Also our first 2 recruits, Ken Seabold and Dale Malonzo. Every graduate assistant, such as Ben Aberdee and David Corona. Every student manager, such as Nick Nelson and Herbie Kimball. Every trainer, such as Bob Drury and Gene Van Kampen. Every SID, including Al Salford and Martin Harmon. Every player who didn't start, but made a meaningful contributions, such as Carl Lukart or Steve Wishhouse. I want to mention through the years that we have lost 13 players, 1 coach, and 1 trainer. Would all the players and staff members here today please stand and be recognized? One of the best compliments I received was that I brought so many great people to Thibodaux, people who made contributions to the city. 2 examples are Danny Cavell and Cleveland Hill. When you are coaching, you believe that winning is the most important thing. Later, you come to realize that the most satisfying thing is watching former players be successful in their lives and with their families. I believe that a true measure of success is when you leave a job in better shape than when you arrived. I know this is true in my case. I must mention the time when the entire Nichols family worked together on a single goal, and the success that resulted. The entire coaching staff, including football, the faculty, alumni, and fans, we all worked on the same plan. Recruiting Central Lafourche superstar Larry Wilson. When Larry signed with the Colonels, it started what is known as the glory years in our basketball history. It shows what is possible when we all unite with the common goal.
So it is my great honor to stand up and let everybody look to the left as Jared gets ready to cut down the deal so we can name it the Don Landry Legacy Center.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.